Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, and welcome to our Learn Arabic show. So in our previous session we had discussed about duals, and what had we said about duals? We said duals in the feminine takes a different format, in the masculine it takes a different format. What did we say about masculine? We said that if you want to change a masculine noun, for example qalamun, into dual, into 2 pens, right? So I'm going to add an alif and a noon kasra. So qalamun, 1 pen, becomes qalamani, 2 pens, right? And what did we say about the feminine? We said that if you want to change a feminine noun into dual, that is 2, so you add an open ta with an alif and a noon kasra, right? And we said that in words which end with the ta marbuta and they are feminine, the ta marbuta will convert into an open ta. You're going to join that with an alif followed by a noon kasra, right? For example, saburatun, 1 blackboard, saburatani, 2 blackboards, right? So our today's topic is going to be about demonstrative pronouns. We have done just 2 demonstrative pronouns. We had done about hadha and hadhihi. I'm sure you remember. So we are going to learn other demonstrative pronouns. Right. So the first demonstrative pronoun that we had learned about was hadha. We said hadha means this is, for masculine singular. So this means this is demonstrative pronoun, this is for masculine singular. Masculine singular. Right. So for example, we said hadha kitabun. Kitabun is 1 book, masculine singular. So we had said hadha kitabun, right? Which means this is a book, which is masculine singular. So this is used for masculine singular. Then we went to hadhihi for feminine singular. We said hadhihi is a demonstrative pronoun for feminine singular, right? Right, and we gave an example. This also means this is, and we said in the example any feminine word ending with a ta marbuta or relationship like ukhtun. So if I want to say this is a girl, this is a sister, okay, hadhihi ukhtun. Right. So we had done demonstrative pronouns for masculine singular. We did that for feminine singular. Now today we are going to look at demonstrative pronouns but for duals, for 2, right? So if I want to say for masculine, okay, so we're going to look at the masculine duals. So you should keep this in mind, that this is only used for the singular, which is different for masculine, different for feminine. Hadha for masculine, hadha for feminine. Now since in the previous session we had discussed about how to change nouns from singular to dual, today we will be discussing about the demonstrative pronoun used for duals. Right, so demonstrative pronouns for duals. Right, so we are going to start with masculine dual. So if I want to say, let's say 2 pens, right? I want to say these are 2 pens, right? So I'm going to say hadhani, okay, that is for masculine dual. So for masculine dual, I'm going to use the word hadhani. Hadhani means this is for dual, this is for masculine dual, okay? Masculine dual, pair, you can say pair, 2, right? So if I want to say, for example, these are 2 pens. So how am I going to say? I'm going to say هذان قلمani, right? So example, so I'm going to say هذان قلمani, which means what? Which means these are 2 pens. And we had done about duals, how to convert qalamun to qalamani. I said if they are masculine words, you will add an alif and a nun kasra at the end. Okay? Let's look at another example. If I want to say these are 2 doors, so this translation will be translated as these are 2 pens. These are 2 pens. هذان قلمani. What if I want to say these are 2 boys? So I will say هذان, since it's for the masculine. So I'll say هذان. And we said boy means waladun, so it will be converted into waladani just by adding an alif and a nun kasra at the end. So it will be waladani, right? So hadani waladani, which means these are 2 boys. Okay, another example, if I want to say these are 2 doors, for example, or these are 2 pencils, right? So I will say هذان pencil is mirsamun. So mirsamun, if you convert it into dual, adding an alif and a nun, هذان mirsamun becomes mirsamani, right? So mirsamun becomes mirsamani, which means these are 2 pencils. So this hadani, it means these, but only for masculine dual. Only any noun that is masculine, meaning that it does not end with a ta marbuta, therefore it is masculine, and so it will take hadani, right? And we said it will be different for masculine and for feminine. Why? Because Arabic, very vast language, it has a lot of specifications, right? Just a final example, maybe right, so let's say I want to say these are 2 doors, right? Now we know that door means babun, right? So first you write the noun, okay, step by step. So step 1, what am I going to do? I'm going to write the noun, right? So for example, door, I'm going to write babun, right? So that's the step 1. Babun means a door. Now I'm going to convert this into dual. I'm going to change this into 2 doors. So how am I going to change it into 2 doors? First of all, I have to identify the noun, right? So I'm going to identify, is this a masculine noun? Is this a mudhakkar? Or is this a muannath? This word is a mudhakkar. This word is a masculine word. Why is it a masculine word? Because it does not end with a ta marbuta. So I have already identified, and I have said this word here is mudhakkar. So I have said babun is masculine word, right? So my first step is done. So after I have identified whether this word is masculine, mudhakkar or muannath, then I have to convert it into dual, which will be my step 2. So how will I convert it into dual? I said if it's a masculine word, you're going to add a alif plus nun kasra, right? So babun here, so I will add, because I said that it's masculine, so alif and nun kasra. We had done this in our previous section. So alif, I'll add an alif plus a nun kasra. Okay, so that's my step 2. So babun becomes babani. So what have I done to this word here? I have added an alif and a nun kasra here. I have added an alif and a noon kasra. So I have made this now 2 doors. So this is a door and this becomes 2 doors. Right. So I've already done my step 2. Now the last step, right? So I've already identified that this word here is masculine. So obviously I'm going to use hadani because hadani is dual for masculine, right? So I will write the last step in forming a sentence. If I want to say these are 2 doors, so I'm going to say hadani babani, these are 2 doors. So hadani babani, which means what? Which means these are 2 doors. Okay, just a final example. Okay, another word. Let's say I want to say classes, right? I want to say these are 2 classes. So what is my step 1? From our previous sessions, I had given you the vocabulary. You know what class means. Class means darsun, right? So I write my noun here, darsun. Right, darsun means a class, right? Right, so then I'm going to convert it into dual. That means 2 classes. I want to say 2 classes. So first thing, what am I going to do? Is this now muannath or is it a mudhakkar? This noun here is a mudhakkar. This noun is masculine. And why is it masculine? It is masculine because it does not end with a ta marbuta at the end. That's why this noun is masculine, right? So I've already identified this noun here is masculine. Okay, so I'm done. So my step 2 will be converting this noun here into dual. And from our previous session, if you want to convert any masculine noun into a dual, you add alif plus noon kasra. So my step 2 will be adding an alif plus a noon kasra. So I'll add this to this word. So my word is going to become what? My word is going to become darsani, right? So darsani. You know, in Swahili we say darasani, which also means class, darasani. In Arabic, 2 classes, darsani. So you notice in many places there's a bit of a similarity between Arabic and Swahili, right? So we have darsani. So I have converted the singular into dual. So this becomes 2 classes, right? 2 classes. Okay, so done with step 1, done with step 2. Right, so now I have identified that this word here is dual and this word here is masculine as well. So what am I going to use if I want to say these are 2 classes? I'm going to say hadani darsani, which means these are 2 classes. So I'm going to say the last step, hadani darsani, which means what? Which means these are 2 classes. These are 2 classes, right? So we are done with the masculine dual. So from our previous sessions all the way up to today, I'm expecting that you should be knowing now how to form simple sentences, you know, conversing with people, simple sentences. If I ask you, for example, ahadha darsun? Ahadha, remember in our previous interrogation class, ahadha darsun? Is this a class? Na'am, hadha darsun. Okay? And what if I want to say, are these 2 classes? So I will say, ahadhani darsani? Are these 2 classes? You will say, na'am, hadhani darsani. What if I will ask you, ahadhihi saburatun? Is this a blackboard? You will say, la, هذا درس. So you should be at least trying to converse just these few simple sentences so that you can get more practice, because if you want to be fluent in a language, you need to be practicing at least the few simple sentences. So if I tell you, so you are going to tell me هذا درس. I'm going to ask you أهذا درس؟ نعم هذا درس. Okay, if I ask you أهذه سبورة, you're going to say لا هذا درس. No, this is a class, right? So you should be knowing now how to converse this just few simple sentences. Interrogation, how to reply. Now we have looked at the duals as well. We have looked at the dual masculine. Now we will move to the dual for feminine, right? أفهمتم الآن? Have you understood me? Right, so we will be moving to feminine duals. So for the feminine dual, we are going to have a different demonstrative pronoun. We said masculine. For masculine dual, a demonstrative pronoun, we said you use هذان, right? Now for the feminine dual, it will be different. هذان, these. For feminine dual, it will be different. Right, so what are we going to use for a feminine dual? For example, if I want to say these are two sisters, okay, I want to say these are two sisters. Can I use هذان أختان? Can I say هذان أختان? No, I cannot say هذان أختان. Why? Because هذان is only for masculine and أختن is feminine. So feminine dual, we are going to use هاتان, okay? So for feminine, it's going to be هاتان, means these, but for feminine. Right. So we're going to look at the examples. So you're going to follow the same steps, the same procedure, only that this is the feminine now, right? So my step one. So for example, I want to say these are two sisters. So first I'm going to write sister. Sister means أختٌ, right? Sister means أختٌ. Right. So first I'm going to identify, is this a masculine word? No, this is a feminine word, which means a sister, right? Right, so I have already identified this word is feminine, okay? So this word here is feminine, which means a sister. Now I'm going to convert this word here into dual. So how will I convert it into a dual? By adding alif and noon from our previous session. So I'm going to convert this in step 2. Now here, usually in feminines, we add we convert the ta marbuta to an open ta alif and a noon kasra, right? But here we notice that it's already there. The ta, open ta is already there, so it's just going to remain the same. So I'm going to convert this, just add a noon. So it's going to be like this, right? So I'm going to convert it, it will be ukhtani. Right, so ukhtani means two sisters, right? Right, so my last step will be using either one of the demonstrative pronouns. Now since we said this is a feminine word, so we are going to use a feminine dual, right? So I'm going to say hatani ukhtani. So I'm going to say hatani. Hatani what? Hatani ukhtani. Means these are two sisters. Right. So hatani ukhtani. Now we'll look at another few examples to sum up our class. What about if I want to say these are two blackboards? So I will say hatani blackboard means saburatun. Saburatun is a feminine word. So I will say hatani saburatani. Okay, hatani saburatani means these are two blackboards, right? These are two blackboards, right? Any other example? What if I want to say these are two dusters? I will say hatani nashafatani. Okay, hatani nashafatani. Right? So this is how I have converted these sentences into duals. So I'll say these are two dusters. Okay. So we have looked at the demonstrative pronouns. Alright, we have seen hadha, we have seen hadhihi, we have seen hadhani, and we have looked at hatani. And we saw how to change the nouns again into duals and how to use the demonstrative pronouns to construct sentences with words which are in duals. Alright, now just a summary of what we learned today. So what did we learn today? We learned about demonstrative pronouns. We learned about masculine and feminine dual. Right. So if I want to say for masculine singular, so for masculine singular, I'm going to use hadha. Okay. Right. For feminine singular, I'm going to use, yes, I'm going to use hadhihi. Right? For masculine dual, that means pair, I'm going to use hadhani. And lastly, for feminine dual, I'm going to use hatani. Right. So this sums up our class for today. So we have looked at the demonstrative pronouns and how to formulate sentences using these pronouns. Inshallah, in our future further classes, we'll be looking at things like pronouns, you know, like I, you, we, okay? And also we'll be trying to form sentences using these pronouns. So I encourage you to at least try to converse these few Arabic sentences. You know, it will make it much easier for you to converse with people and to understand. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, we'll meet in our future further class next session. Hafiz.